Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Media Boss Live. I am Dr. Barrett Matthews. If this is your first time here, I hope it's not your first time here. You will know that what I do is I promote people on Media Boss Live in this live stream event all over the media, all over social media to let people know who they are, what they're doing, and how they can serve you and how you may be able to serve them as well. And what we want to do is just, first of all, today is a special day. I want to make sure I wish everybody a happy World Civility Day. Happy World Civility Day, because today is a day, I think this is the ninth year of World Civility Day. And for those of you who don't know, I am a World Civility Ambassador with an organization called I Change Nations, where we promote civility all over the world. That organization was founded by Dr. Clyde Rivers, who is also now has been made an African king because of his work in civility around the world. A lot of people recognize him for the work that he's done. So we want to make sure that you know it's World Civility Day and that you do something, some civil action today to help someone, to serve someone, to some action that makes people know that, hey, that person is really looking out for me. So with that being said, I wanted to make sure that right now I bring on someone who is going to, well, first of all, she's a good dear friend of mine. I've known her a number of years. I don't even know how long we've known each other now. She'll probably have a better idea than I do. But but I want to bring someone on to the live stream right now, and that is none other than my dear friend, Doctor Natalie Forest. Natalie, welcome to Media Boss Live. Good to have you this morning.
Wow, that was like interesting, like doctor. I was waiting for a drum roll or something.
I can do.
You're a doctor, you know?
but Natalie, you and I have been friends for how long now? I don't know. I've lost track.
A lot. I think before my daughter was born, so it's been a long time.
Been a long. How old
Yeah,
is your daughter now?
almost 13.
Oof, wow, that's amazing how they get old and we stay so young. It's just amazing how that happens. But anyway,
I don't feel young, but thank you for the compliment. I'll take that. It's Civility Day.
yeah, right. Now, Natalie, one of the things that I noticed on your like when people look your profile up, it says that you are a transformation mentor. Please tell me what is a transformation mentor?
A transformation mentor is not a change mentor. A transformation mentor is someone like me
Hmm.
who guides you to truly transforming back, in a sense, to your essence. At least that's how I see it. So
Hmm.
they help you transform to the person you really are. And
Hmm.
that includes, regular coaching, regular mentoring, but also very often spiritual things, cultural things of that nature. And I really emphasize the aspect of guiding because, as we all know, a mentor does not give you pre-designed things 100% of the time. There are some questions that we ask, but we walk together.
Hmm.
And so therefore every day is a little different, and transforming means making lasting change versus change, which I can change the station every single day if I want to,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
transformation is really changing.
Wow,
Thanks for
that's it.
asking.
No, well, I first I needed to know that for myself, but I think the audience needs to know because they're going to look you up. I know, so when they look you up, they want to say, "Who is this person? What
Yeah.
does that mean?" So, so that's good. So now that we got
Who's he
that,
talking to?
right, right. Who is he talking? So here's the one thing I want to make clear to everybody, because like I said, it's World Civility Day. Speaking of world, Natalie, where are you in the world right now?
I happen to be in my hometown, which is the most beautiful, greenest media city in all of Europe, Hamburg, Germany.
Hamburg, Germany. All right. And that is your hometown. Now, unfortunately, like I said, I've known Natalie for a number of years. I didn't meet her in Germany. I wish I was traveling
Oh,
sometime. But Natalie used to live here in the States, so she lives in Germany now. Like she said, her hometown. She's in Germany, and I am just happy that we stayed in touch because it's easy to lose touch with someone when they move across the world. So
yes, it's crazy. Yes.
yeah, it is. And Natalie has done so many important things in her life. And I know she can be modest and humble about it, but she has. And she holds a lot of positions. She is a rule breaker, as she likes to say.
I
Yeah.
didn't say that. Somebody else said that about
But
me.
but
You
but
know,
you
so I
but
just
you embraced it, right?
oh yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm back home. It's like, I'm like moving places, doing stuff. So yeah. And you can't do it by always following the established routine because
Right.
that's how we got to where we are.
Exactly. So I don't mind you being a rule breaker. I kind of like that. So so as they say, rules are made to be broken. So it's okay. So with that being said, you have, like I said, you hold a lot of positions in a lot of different arenas, and I say that to say because Natalie has done a lot, not just in the U.S., not just in Germany, but she's helping people to do a lot of different things. She's connected with so many people in different parts of the world. And I don't know if you want to touch on it, but I'd love to have you share about some of the things that you're involved with.
Oh, I was not prepared for that, but okay.
Yes, you are.
So the most important, I don't like talking about myself. So the first and most important thing is, of course, that I'm a mom. And I think that, especially in today's world, really, really matters. Whether you're a physical, biological mom, dad, brother, sister, doesn't matter. I know many people who don't have their own biological children, but they're still. Because when it comes to civility, when it comes to the world we're living in, I think we adjust and our focus changes a little bit when we do have kids. So that's number one. As part of that, obviously, or as part of changing the world, I am, as my dear friend so nicely pointed out, a life transforming mentor, and I especially like to say spiritual because that underlies everything that I do. I also happen to be the vice president of a new enterprise, which we just started, I want to say January, and which has already grown out of proportion in a good way. And that is 90210 Enterprise. It's a business networking community in a way arranged that you've never seen. And it has different levels, different things that we do, but it's very intense and it's built on relationships. So it's not like sometimes you get a note and somebody says, hey, I want to meet you. And next thing is they want to sell you something. No, it's actually real relationships. And I'm working on that with the amazing Ashkan Tabibnia. And of course, Barrett is part of that as well for the podcasting. I also happen to be, let me see, on the board of Voice Aid Association, which is located here in Germany, but it's also a global entity. And part of that, we have a project that's called Depeche, which has gone global, Africa, Europe, and we're now moving it to, of course, the United States. Also, G100 Germany country chair. And most important to me is the work that I do when nobody's watching. And that is volunteering, serving. And it's something that I also taught my daughter. And I think the groups that I'm now fortunately aligned with realize that we're all one, which is a huge belief of mine. And so, working on companies, making them bigger, organizing movements, letting them grow is important as long as we realize it's all about each and every one of us being a big part of the overall puzzle. And the last thing, I don't know, am I allowed to say this yet?
You can say anything you want.
Okay, the last thing that I'm involved in is something that this gentleman, where are you? Anyhow, that this gentleman is going to announce in a minute, which is the first time that we've actually done something
No.
really, really, really together. Well, I did join you at one of your workshops,
Yeah.
and at one of your virtual
Yeah,
events, but
yeah, but this is different.
this
This
is the real first
right.
collaboration. So yeah,
Exactly.
in
And
the year of
and
the dragon.
and you
Okay.
you also have an affiliation with a famous periodical, am I correct?
Yes, yes, yes. I used to be, and I'm still officially listed as VP of the Los Angeles Tribune, a columnist for them. I still work with them. I still write my columns for them. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't exclude that as well. And I did all this, ladies and gentlemen, to let you know who Natalie is, who Dr. Natalie Forest is, because I want you all to know that she is a very, very important person. At least I think so. At least I think so. Now, so no, and I say that so as Natalie just alluded to, oh gosh, it's almost 2 years now that she's been saying to me, Barrett, we need to talk because we need to work on something together. We need because we, like she said, we had attempted things in the past years ago. We just never really got something put together. And she said we need to talk now. I can't tell you how long we had been trying to even just talk about putting something together.
Well, you
Because,
are all over the place, okay?
oh, it's just me. It's just me.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm going to take that today. I'm going to take that. But we finally did talk, and I know you all are wondering, like, what is this? What is this big announcement? You've been promoting a big announcement. Well, first of all, I did announce that it's World Civility Day, so I want to say Happy World Civility Day to everybody. And I'm saying that for a reason because we decided that this would be the day for us to make this announcement to you because it all falls in line. As you know, my firm is Media Boss Pro, and we do media for business people. We help create their own media so that they can actually have their voice and find and make it so people can find them. Well, Natalie and I wanted to make it so people can find us as well, but and find us in a way that's different than others. We're not here pitching things to you. What we are is promoting what is going on in the world and talking about things that are going on in the world. So Natalie and I are announcing our new podcast, which is called The World We Share. It is on Apple right now. We're launching it today. It is on Spotify right now. It'll be up on YouTube as well, so you can see our lovely faces as we as we talk about things that are going on in the world. Natalie, if you will take a moment and talk about the podcast, if you can.
The podcast is, and I think you put it very nicely, is really not about selling stuff. It's about being civil and having a communication because civility is part of communicating. So it's a conversation. It's where, the dear Barrett and I, we come up with some topics thus far that we think are important, that maybe somebody brought to our attention, and we discuss that topic. We share our views and we invite you to share your views. It is called The World We Share, a global conversation. So every topic is a go. And what is really important about this is whether it is the general topic of communication, or I think we talked about homelessness and education and mental health and the future of the workplace. We started out talking about those in a big scheme. And there are lots and lots of additional topics underneath it that we also want to talk about. And when I say talk about, it means talk about with you. So we invite you to share your comments, to tell us what other topics are on your mind. What other topics do you want us to just discuss? Because I mean, yes, we're just talking about it, but don't get me wrong. Both of us have a history of writing books, researching. So even though we might just be talking, we're also emphasizing that we need to accept each other's views. We need to ask each other questions to truly understand. And so every show that we have, we also have a spotlight. And that spotlight may not always directly align with what the topic is, but it is a spotlight in which we just highlight really important things. And they can be beautiful things, they can be important things, they can be things of the day, or very ancient things that inspire us today. And so I'm excited about it because I love to open up conversations. I'm a former teacher, and obviously, as you can see, I'm still a speaker, so I still love to engage. But it is about talking and putting things out in the open. Like today is World Civility Day. I'm going to surprise my dear Barry because he's ready for anything I do usually. I mean, why do we need it? What happened? If it's 9 years old, 10 years old, 7 years old, why do we need it? What happened? I think that's really an important
Are
question
you
to ask.
seriously? Are you seriously asking that question? As to why do we need to really?
I'm sorry, it already is like when it first came about, when I first saw it, when I was still with you, so to speak, in the
uh-huh,
United States, I
uh-huh.
was like, what do you mean civility matters? Of course civility matters. Why do I need a reminder? And then I noticed things happening in a certain way and I was like, oh my God, we're all one. Do you want to be treated like this? And it's a fascinating journey, I think.
It is. It is truly a fascinating journey, and you said it so eloquently about what the podcast is going to be about. And here's the thing: like Natalie said, we want it's a global conversation. Like she said, the title of the podcast is "The World We Share: A Global Conversation." We want to have a conversation with you. So even right now, wherever you're watching this, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you're YouTube, wherever, we want you to comment about the world we share. Talk about some of the things going on in the world. Talk about some of the issues that you see. We may decide to bring that up as a topic on the podcast. We're going to start a Facebook group as well, probably as well, more than likely, probably a LinkedIn group as well, just to get you guys to talk more about this because we want the conversation to grow.
Right.
We want to keep talking about these things because I'll be honest with you, the only way we're going to get through a lot of these things is if we talk about it. I know
Yeah.
some of them may have a little bit of taboo nature on them, and we'll be gentle. But but the thing is, we do
We
have
will be what? We will be gentle?
okay.
I'm a
We
rule
won't be
breaker.
gentle, but we, they haven't listened to any of them yet. But
Oh,
but
that's true.
but but the thing is, we want you guys to be a part of this. We definitely want you to be a part of it. Matter of fact, we actually put it out there in a survey to just people to help us with the title of the podcast. So we
Yes.
definitely want you all to be a part of this, and that's what we're announcing this on World Civility Day because this is a global issue. It's a global conversation. Civility matters, as Natalie said, and you know, the organization I'm with, I Change Nations, they have a motto: it's civility for all. And
Hmm.
I want to get back to something you just asked a minute ago, kind of tongue in cheek, like why do we need it? And it's really interesting. So why do we need civility? It's because it's the only way we're going to get things done. You can't get things done through conflict. I mean, think about it. If you're on opposite sides of something, you're not going to get anything done until one of you or both of you decides to be civil. Because if you're fighting, the only thing that's going to get done is a fight. So
Right, right. And some people see that as a solution, right? Last man standing, last woman
yeah,
standing,
yeah,
last animal standing, right?
yeah.
Um, so let me ask you, since you're part of this amazing global group helping
Hmm.
to, create positive change in a
Hmm.
sense, how do you all define civility then?
Well, civility it's real simple, to be honest with you. It's doing what's really right. And see, we work in the path of God. So we use
Hmm.
biblical principle to really guide us. So
Yeah.
in that vein, it's not really hard to define civility. It's you've seen the old thing. What would Jesus do? It's things like that. It's
Yeah.
what it's really. It's not hard to define civility when you walk a godly path. So that's the path that we take. Now, some of you may be saying, "Whoa, I don't want to talk about that." Well, once again, these are the things that may be taboo to some of you, but it's not to us. So we're here to talk about that. But that's how we operate: is walking in a godly path in civility. It's just doing what God would want us to do. It's really that simple. And I know you're saying, well, if it's that simple, aren't people doing it? Well, if you believe in God, you also know that there's an enemy too. So, and that's something that pushes a lot of people. And it's easier, and I hate to say this, but it's true. It's easier to get people to do things that are not good. It's
Right.
just easy to do. I always say
Right.
negativity is stronger than positivity, which is why you have to work to be positive. You wake up every day, negativity is waiting for you. But you have to think about it.
Mhm.
You have to feed your mind positive things, read books on positivity. You don't have to do that for anything negative. It's just there waiting for you every day. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things that you have to work at positivity. I had a friend tell me that, she told me years ago, you're the only person I know that never has any problems. I'm like, oh, I have just as many as everyone else. I just don't wear them on my sleeve. Why? Because I feed my mind every day. I hang around great
Mhm.
people like Dr. Natalie Forest here, and people that I know. I've never heard Natalie talk negatively. Never. Never. I've known her over a decade. Never heard her talk negative because we talk to each other, uplifting one another. We're complimenting
Yeah.
each other more than anything all the time. And but the thing is, in order for you to work in a civil manner, you need to be thinking that way, and you need to be working that way. So you're going to have to feed your mind positive things, and one way to do it is to get away from things that are going to bring about negativity. I have Natalie, and I'm sure you're probably dealing with this too with certain people. I have so many people that want to send me social media posts about some celebrity, negative things going with. I don't care. I don't care because it does
Yeah.
not feed my mind positively. So, and,
Hmm.
and and so the long answer to your question is that how do I do that? How do we do it? Or what is our definition? We walk in the godly path, so that way we can make things real simple for us. Just follow the word, and it makes it easy. And I have a meeting with them today about some of those things that we're working on.
Yeah. And there's a reason why I was asking about that, not just because of the group, but you just brought in the Bible, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know religion is a huge issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, being who I am, I invite everybody to check their religious, spiritual guidance books, whatever you all use,
Mm-hmm.
because we all use different things,
Yeah.
and see if the word civility or how to treat your neighbor, how to walk in integrity and honesty. If that is in that book, then we don't have to talk about religion. It is just do
Right,
what is right.
exactly. And most every religion that believes in a higher being, it's the same principles.
Yes.
It's the same principles. So I mean, and really just follow that. And like I said, I know I make it sound real simplified. I know I do, but
But it's good.
yeah, but it kind of is really. You know, and like I said, the Bible says it one way. Some other uh, type of book or whatever may say it in a different way. It's saying, let's treat others the way you would like to be treated.
Hmm.
That's
Yes.
really, I mean, that's really what it boils down to. Because when you think about how you're treating someone, would you like to be treated that way? If not, you may need to change it.
Right.
And I remember, I heard Dr. George Fraser say this one time: if you don't like change, you're really going to hate growth.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because
I used to talk about that a lot,
really,
because it's so fun. The older we get, the more people are concerned about change, which is
hmm
so interesting. I'm helping people transform backwards, forward, sideways, however you want to call it, right? To me, it's
hmm
always forward. And it's the resistance to change, right?
yeah,
whether
yeah,
whether they're in a good life situation or one that is really crappy, they're comfortable in it. That's what they know. So usually the older you get, the more you worry about change. Well, guess what? Do you remember when we were babies? Like, you fell down, and what did you do? You got back up and changed your approach to walking. Okay, that's a simple idea, but we have changed. And when we were babies and then little children, we found that really exciting that we were changing. And then when we're watching it, we also say, oh, look, she can walk now, right? I mean, whatever it may be.
right.
And now that we're like, oh no, change. You mean I should move the couch an inch? Really? What's going to happen? So it's like this routine. We're on automatic pilot, and that really is a huge issue, I think, also when it comes to acceptance of new things. And with the acceptance of new things, we're back to the idea of how to be civil. If somebody says something, do we just react like that and go, whoa, I don't like it? Or do we take a breath and say, huh, I don't think I like that idea, but let me ponder it for a moment. Let me thank that person for the idea. And then I decide what to do with it. Because most of the time, people who love you are probably your hardest critics, right?
Yeah, very
And they
true.
phrase it nicely most of the time, but they do it because they love you and they want you to grow and therefore change. So that's my little spiel on
Very,
virtual.
very well
Sorry.
said. Very, very well said. And one thing I want to share with everyone, please make sure, like we said, our big announcement today is our new podcast, "The World We Share: A Global Conversation." You can go to Spotify, you can go to iTunes, whatever your favorite platform is, and download the podcast. Please leave a review. Please leave a review when you download it. Also, we're going to be on YouTube as well. So if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment. Let us know what you're thinking about what's going on in the world. It can be a myriad of different things that's on your mind about what's going on in the world, but we don't want you to feel that you cannot talk about it, because a lot of these things have to be talked about in order for us to bring about a change in this world. So we want to open that up for people. I tell you, we wrestled with what to name the podcast, but we finally got a name. But we need your help to keep everything going.
Let me ask you a question though, because you keep
Sure.
pointing out where we are,
Hmm.
like, other than Germany and the US, but where we are on Spotify, on LinkedIn, on iTunes, on et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If they don't find us right away, what should they type into the search bar?
They can type in "The World We Share." The world we share. They can type in our names too, because that should be in there as well. But they should be able to find us. I went to iTunes, and I went to Spotify, and I searched it and found it. So it should be pretty easy to find. And if you can't find it, reach out to us. Just
Yes.
reach out to us, and you can find us on LinkedIn, on Facebook. You can find us there. Just reach out to us, and we'll make sure that you can get the links to do those things. But we want to make sure we announce this today, because, like I said, it's World Civility Day, and we want to make sure that you guys are part of that as well, because this is your world. We're sharing the world with you, so we want to make sure everybody is a part of this. So Natalie, let me ask you something.
Oh,
Because you're the, because I mean, look, you're the brains behind this. You're the one that came. You're the one. I'm just the muscle. You're the one. You came up with the idea to do such a podcast. So I wanna ask you, what made you come up with an idea of this caliber?
oh, um, I think we don't talk enough. Not you and
Mm-hmm.
I. That's true too. I think as people, there's this old saying, "The lost art of conversation,"
Mm-hmm.
and I think that is truly the case, because we're so guided by our brains sometimes that when we engage, or when we're supposed to engage in a conversation, we may hear what is being said, but while somebody is talking, we're already, you know this as well as I do, we're already formulating our answer. We already know our response. So we're not really actively listening and taking it in. And
Mm-hmm.
we've got our defense mechanisms anyhow. So if somebody says, huh, I don't know if that red looks so good on you. Okay, what am I going to do? So it's like, uh, listen first, right? It's so it's about communication, and it's about truly talking to one another. You said before about civility.
Mm-hmm.
It is important that we communicate. If we don't communicate, the world is going to go someplace where I don't necessarily want it to be. And my reason for being in this world is to make sure it continues to exist. So we need to talk. And we need to talk to people of all shapes, shades, whatever you have, everybody. Because in a world where I see us as one, we're all humanity, that's one humanity,
Mm-hmm.
it's a item. So we need to understand that we're all one, and whatever I do may impact somebody 50,000 miles away from me. That's
Sure.
something I learned when I first started on social media. So it's really important that we're present and that we're communicating in the way that we're listening with civility, that we're listening, that we're responding, not harshly. And we can
Yes.
only do that if we bring up topics. On the top, start on the top of the iceberg. Let's talk about communication. Well, once we do that, there are all these different layers that open up that we then can talk about. And I think that's really important if we truly have an invested interest in this world and in humanity. And,
Love
I
that.
like to talk.
No, but I love that because that is so true, and I wanted that's why I asked that question because I really wanted you to talk about that because I wanted to bring that up because it's so vitally important that we discuss these things and that we don't ignore them because a lot of times, as you know, we like to brush things under the rug and just hope that it goes away, and it's one of those things, and that's not a United States thing. That's not a Germany thing. That's a world thing. And we just say, oh, well, if we don't talk about it, then it doesn't exist. And that is not true. I mean, and here's the thing: when has that ever happened? When
I mean,
has that?
it's like this in a family, you don't mention it, you don't mention it, you don't mention it,
Oh
and at
God, yes.
one of those family dinners, it's
Woo!
going to just come up.
That sounds like a
So
that sounds like a topic
if you
for
put
a show.
something under the rug, sooner or later you're going to step on it and it's going to explode. So we might as well talk about it.
Well, that sounds like another episode right there. The family discussion. Woo.
Oh,
Right? Right?
okay.
That sounds like a good one right there because we all have them.
Yeah,
Look, you see when I
yeah.
brought it up the face she made? Yeah, I'm thinking the same. We have different. I don't know her family. She don't know mine, but we all got them. We all have
Yes,
those.
we do.
Yeah, exactly. So and see, this is the thing I'm talking about. If you I'm talking to you right now. If you have that, not you, Natalie, that person right there. Yeah, you. Okay. If you have things on your mind that you think should be talked about that really, really affect the world, not just you, affect the world, then let's talk about it. Let's have that conversation because it's something that we want to bring up on our show. So what I'm saying is that comment here, comment on your social. So when this broadcast is over, I'm hoping to see a lot of different topics from people. A lot of people commenting on, I would like to talk about this. I would like to talk about that. Or when we
Yeah.
have our social media, because we're going to be announcing that too, that you're putting in there. I'd love to talk about this. I'd love to talk about that. Or when you subscribe on YouTube, that you put comments there that you would like to talk about this subject, that subject. Or when you download us on iTunes and you leave a review on Spotify, whatever, that you comment that you would like to talk about this, because this is about you. We are just hosting it, but
Hmm.
it's a conversation we'd like to have about topics that you want to bring up, and I think it'll be very, very cathartic for a lot of people, but I also think it'll be
Yeah.
fun.
And in addition to what you mentioned, sometimes we have a broad topic like communication. That's our first one.
Mm-hmm.
We can't think of everything.
No.
People always wondering when I say that, but I can, and I have no problem saying I don't know if somebody asks me a question, even in history, whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
can't know everything. So if you listen, when you listen to the communication episode, and there are some topics that you come up with that you think are important, give them to us. If
Mm-hmm.
you see what we're doing with the spotlights, if there's something that you would like to have spotlighted, please let us know. Because again, we're in our parts of the world and
Mm-hmm.
in our parts of culture.
Yeah.
So let us know. We can't highlight what we don't know.
Yeah, and I did sign an agreement that states that Natalie does know everything, but I just want to let y'all know that. But but hey, you'll see my lawyer about that. But anyway, I do want to say if we bring up something, and even if you disagree with it, put it in the comments.
Yes,
No, be civil.
of course.
Be civil. It is World Civility Day. So be civil about your comments. You can disagree. And this is one of the things we talk about in the first episode, actually. You can
Hmm.
actually communicate with someone and disagree with them. It doesn't mean that you have to be uncivil about it. So you can actually just be someone in disagreement. And
Yeah,
someone once told me a long time ago, if you have two people that agree on everything, one of them isn't necessary.
yeah.
So
So true.
it's
True.
okay to disagree. That's how we learn. That's how we
Yes.
learn, and that's how we grow.
And you can still, sorry to interrupt, but we can still do a podcast together or have coffee together, even if we disagree. And that's
Right,
like this aha moment. And you
right.
don't even necessarily, and some people then choose to not talk about that topic now, the under
Mm-mm.
the rug thing. But you can talk about it differently and listen. There are
Yeah,
lots of things I disagree with people, and that doesn't mean I don't see them, I don't meet them. No,
right.
they're still good people.
They're still good people. I don't know if you all noticed or not, if you're watching this right now, is that Natalie and I are not the same person. So, yeah, yeah.
Whoa.
We're not the same person. I know it's hard to believe because we look so much alike. But if
Yes.
we're not the same person. So we have differing differences in so many ways. The way we see each other, the way we view each other, our gender, our hair, our viewpoints on so many things. But guess what?
Hmm.
We can still converse about something in an intelligent, civil manner where we can actually disagree or agree, whatever. There may, and I'm sure there have been already circumstances where I may have disagreed with Natalie, but then she said something and then she brought me around to agreeing, and it's
So
okay.
you would not disagree with me. You just said that. You just broke your contract.
Oh God, I get on the phone after, but I came around and agreed, so that's got to count
True.
for something.
True.
So,
Yeah.
so, I mean, I just said that she does know everything, and it is a fact. But but the thing is, guys, we want to basically we put this together today because we wanted to make sure that we announced to you guys that we have a
Hmm.
podcast, The World We Share, a global conversation. We want you guys to be a part of it. We want you guys to share this with other people. Don't just keep it to yourself. Let everyone know that this podcast is here and it's for you because I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. We'll be putting new episodes out every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, a new episode will be coming. I'm glad I thought about that because it will be coming out every 2 weeks. We'll be promoting a new episode, and our first episode is today. So that's why we're so excited, and we're doing this today. Yes, so, because we're doing it today, so we want to just make sure that we let you guys know. Natalie, before I know you have to run today, so is there anything that you wanted to say to the people before we wrapped up here?
Yes, sure. I want to say thank you, number one, to Barrett, but also thank you to anybody who's watching now, who's watching later, and especially anyone who is going to listen or see the podcast and comment.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I mean this very seriously, if anybody knows me, they know that this is my stick. This is the one thing that I really believe in. We need you. You're unique. So your opinion matters. Your ideas matter. And whether you put them out there on whole social media things, which I don't believe we all have to, but the world we share is one of those paths that we can take together and connect differently. So please tell us what you think. Remember, we need your voice as well.
Oh, very well said. Very well said. So, with that being said, everybody, I can't really top that. I just want to let everyone know to wish someone else a happy World Civility Day. Do a civil act towards. I don't care if it's opening a door for someone. I don't care if it's helping an old person cross the street. Whatever you have to do, putting out a chair for someone. Just do something civil towards someone today. Just do something that you would be proud of and that someone would be happy you did for them and something that God would smile upon you for. So just do something civil towards someone today on this World Civility Day. And we just ask that of you. And I just want to say, civility for all. And Natalie, thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to a great season of The World We Share,
Yes.
a global conversation. Thank you, everybody.